In the previous episode, I left you here explaining that my next goal was to make the superstructure under the roof. My intentions is to make this as lightweight as possible, yet super strong and capable to withstand sailing through hurricane force winds. I also promised to explain more about my plans, ideas and details around the roof shape. That's not only part of the visual and aesthetic, it will have some other functions as well. The weather conditions has been a bit challenging, still I managed to do quite a lot, and I will share how I use weather predictions to assist me. Join me as I'm sailing around the world on Be Free, a Bavaria 55 cruiser. I started this project making a mock-up from honeycomb, visualizing my ideas and if happy would be the core material in my construction. The seasonal weather has not been as big of a challenge you would expect, yet for sure slowed me down, forcing me to wrap up things in the middle of my work, and sometimes for a day or two with strong winds and pretty intense rain. Still not a deal breaker, but my mistakes was very fast pretty obvious. In retro perspective, I should have made the framework better and with more support beams to secure my shape and design. Because of strong winds in a critical phase of my project, I had to lash down things so hard to avoid it take off as a kite. And now I'm paying the price for this. To avoid using fillers, I just had to redo this section because fillers are adding weight I don't want. So I sanded it down to become flexible enough for being redone after adjustments. Several days with beautiful weather allowed me to straighten up things and to redo some parts of the first fiberglass layer. And after it was cured, I could remove some of the supports to start with the stringers underneath. A bit annoyed that this cost me more than a week with extra work. With all those setbacks behind me and hard work forward, I started with the stringers to make the hardtop strong enough to walk on. I did some tests, and even with barely one layer of fiberglass on the outside, I can already stand on the roof. And it will come several more layers as well. But for now, I'm focusing on the stringers, so I later can be able to walk on the top of the roof for faster and easier work. And I do have some things I want to reveal for you, because in the previous episode I talked about what I'm going to do with this curved roof and some of the things and solutions that I have been planning. And it's time to reveal some of them. My idea is to make ventilation by funneling airflow coming from the bow towards the windows, and hopefully the wind will accelerate upwards and into a funnel. That's even compressing it to increased effect, giving a nice airflow into the cockpit behind the windows. It's gonna be ventilations here, here, that will get the airflow into the cockpit. Hopefully to make better ventilation and not as hot. With help of gravity and incorporated drain, any water coming with the wind should be drained out before reaching the inside of the cockpit. If this idea will work out remains to be tested, but I will also make it possible to close in case of extreme wind speed with rain. It will not be open like this, that's just for now, until the ventilation is in place. In the previous episode I revealed that it will be ambient exterior light hidden under the edge here. Further aft it will be space for the up-rolled canvas to be protected when not in use, and even water collecting solution that I will come back to later. This is only my way to do things, and I have more details to come. It's for sure many ways to do this kind of projects, and I believe hardtops will become the new standard. In fact, I believe it's the only way future monohulls will be compatible with catamarans. In my opinion, old-school tiny center cockpits will grow old very fast now, as people want comfort while sailing. One of my patrons sent me a message from the yacht show in Düsseldorf. And the news was that Bavaria is now offering hardtop on their C series. This I had to check out, and the only thing I found right now was this photo I borrowed from Bavaria on Facebook. At first glance, it looks pretty well made with solid steel tubes, probably around 48 to 55 millimeter based on what I can see, and even double in the front of this hardtop, and I expect there are some serious backing plates both on the hardtop itself and below deck. At least that's what I would have done, because the forces in the wind can be brutal, as I just experienced sitting here below deck editing videos.
It's getting more, so I have lashed down some safety lines.
Man, this is wild. Rain and high humidity is obviously not the best combination for working outdoor with fiberglass. However, that's not my biggest concern the last days. It's the monsoon storms, as my entire construction is yet not bolted to the deck. So even though I'm not out sailing, I still spend some time analyzing the weather as if I was out at the Big Blue. Only looking at the wind predictions here will give you some surprises for sure, just as when you are out sailing. The same can be said about using satellite images if you don't know what to look for or know that there are different layers in different altitudes. The advantage being close to shore or outside an island is live radar recordings in combination with satellite images. This gives me a pretty accurate information where I am, and this is what I use right now. The circles I just show you indicates land-based radars and their range, enabling me to see the incoming rain or monsoon storms. As a contrast, you can see the clouds higher up moving from west to east, whilst the monsoons comes from west-northwest going east. Looking at wind gusts in combination with a bigger picture, I also understand what to expect even the next few days. The cyclone that's forming south of me will not represent any direct threats. However, my experience is it will fuel the monsoons that I already have predicted and even experienced by now. So if I was only looking at one type of weather predictions, I would be in for some big surprises, because neither the big or the small picture indicates any wind where I am. Once again, I did not have time to make video when it was at its worst. What you see now is after the storm have passed, because I had to secure my dinghy and make sure everything was okay. This is one of the biggest challenges, being alone with everything. And it's always interesting to see what's going on around you when a storm hits the anchorage. Hopefully no one will break loose, but I can already see someone in big trouble. A sail coming out in winds like this is definitely not a good situation.
Now it's over. Just had probably the upper 50s, upper 40s, close to 50s. It was wild. So a monsoon through here. Thank God I am double mooring.
All my instruments are covered, but my guess was later proven to be correct. We had more than 50 knots wind hammering through here. And my friend Svarung at the dinghy dock also took some damages, seeing parts of their roof flying away with the wind.
But look at me, I'm under a very well made roof. This is nuts. Here it's dry. And it's crazy.
The fascinating part already is how quiet and comfortable it is being inside my cockpit now. And as normal, every single anchorage has their own drag queens. And this anchorage is no exception from this rule. This passenger boat has been cutting loose a few times already, so I've been paying attention to it when the wind direction has been less favorable towards me. This time it took its ride between two other boats here.
Crazy. That's monsoon season here in Southeast Asia. So I'm soaking wet. I'm gonna change clothes and go back down to try to edit this video. Thank you so much for watching this short update. It has been more going on than I have shown you, but it's boring to see just things going back and forth and back and forth. So this was basically a summarize what has been going on, and it's been more work than it looked. And yeah, if you watched all to here, I thank you so much. And if you haven't already, I would be very happy to see you subscribe, and maybe even to consider becoming a patron. I can reveal already, I can now walk on my roof. Yoo-hoo! It is actually super strong. With this design, it makes it really lightweight, so it looks like I will achieve my goal. It's still some weeks ahead before I start cutting out the windows, so there is a lot to come. And I think also next update will be in about 2 weeks. I believe I need to have 2 weeks intervals on these videos, because it's too much work for me alone, and also to record and document absolutely everything I do take just too much time. So I hope for understanding for this, because I really want to go out sailing and be done with this. And it's also a nightmare to live aboard with all this dust. I can tell you, it is not a good thing. So thank you so much for being here and for waiting patiently for the next episode.